David Bayliss, also known as the 12 Volt Guru from BM Pro, and welcome to today's webinar on understanding more about lithium batteries and the correct ways in which to charge them. So a bit of a new format. Normally we're used to being out in the field, but obviously in today's world that's a little bit difficult. But thanks for being with us, and hope we can come up with a range of really useful information for you that will better educate you and give you a better understanding of really how lithium batteries work. Because there is a lot of misinformation we're finding out there in the marketplace at the moment. And these are a high-tech electronic instrument, equipment, and they've got to be treated properly. So BM Pro's been around for a while now. I mean, its parent company, CTEC, is based here in Knoxfield in Victoria in Australia. And most of our products are designed and manufactured here in Melbourne. All of the lithium range products, such as our battery checks here beside me and our battery chargers, are all designed locally with an R&D team here and manufactured in our custom designed facility here in Knoxfield. So today I'm going to run through a range of different things in regards to lithium batteries, some of which you may already know and some of which may be new to you as well. So the first thing I'm going to work through is the charging of lithium batteries. BM Pro has been working with lithium batteries for a long time now, and we partner with a couple of companies locally and overseas in regards to making sure that we've got the complete expertise in regards to it. And one thing which I'll show you further on in the presentation, a big thing which we do is every one of our chargers is tested with the lithium batteries that we supply, and it is also, and the batteries that we supply as well are also tested within our facility. In fact, I think it's the only live testing which we have, that we can see currently in Australia. So all of our batteries go through a full cycling series. It's not just a hypothetical graph drawn up by an engineering department. The data is real, the data is live, and the testing's now been going for 2.5 years, which is proved to testament to the fact that lithium batteries will go for that long. And we'll show you that information as we get on further into the presentation. So one of the big questions that comes up when charging batteries is, can you parallel lithium batteries? Well, the short answer is yes and no. It depends which ones. So some batteries are designed, so not like a lead acid battery, pretty much every lead acid battery, if you're putting the same age, the same brand, the same size, you can parallel them all up, no problems, if you want to increase your ampere hour capacity for your RV to be able to go off-grid or similar. But you can't do that with all lithium batteries. Now with the BM Pro battery you can, and it's been tested, so our Invicta range that I've got here in front of me, you can parallel up to 4 of those in 100 amp hour in parallel to provide yourself with a 400 ampere hour battery bank, which the chargers will then see as one large battery bank. You have to check with the manufacturer though and check if it is appropriate, because inside these batteries, which I'll show you a little bit later on, there's a whole range of electronics. Now, unlike a lead acid battery, which has got big chunks of lead and chemical inside and is what we sort of call a bit of a dumb box, inside this battery has a BMS, a battery management system. The battery management system sits over the top of the cells which are inside here, and it controls everything from voltages and amps and everything like that when it comes to charging and discharging the battery. So yeah, so you've got a range of electronics in there, so it's really important to check with your manufacturer if it is possible in which to be able to parallel your lithium batteries up. Don't just make that assumption. Now, of course, good practice always is when you are paralleling lithium batteries is you want to keep the cables between the batteries as short as possible. This decreases the resistance, and you don't want to increase the resistance because that's going to affect the capacity and the ability of your battery bank to be able to deliver the power that you want. So you want to keep the cabling as short as possible. Make sure the wire size is appropriate for the size of the battery bank that you are building. If in doubt, speak to a 12 volt expert, an auto electrician or somebody along those lines. So with the paralleling of the batteries, the battery charger will then see it as a larger bank. So make sure that you adjust, for example, in the Odyssey setup which we've got, you adjust the size of the battery bank so that the charger can charge it appropriately. So yeah, so going back, so parallel batteries, parallel lithium batteries, yes, you can do it, but just make sure from your manufacturer that the brand that you are buying is suitable to do so. Now, of course, always make sure that you put the same brand. So if you're putting 2, 3, 4 batteries together, always make sure that you are putting the same brand, the same age of battery, the same size capacity of battery in the parallel bank together all at the same time. because otherwise what you'll find that the battery bank is only as strong and can only deliver as much power as the weakest link inside that battery bank, and that's not what you want, because it's not going to be a great investment. So make sure that all your batteries are same brand, same size, same age, etc., and you'll find that the battery bank will work the most effectively for you. Okay, so I raised before in regards to testing of these batteries. So the BM Pro Invicta batteries had the test going since 2017 now, and it's gone through over 2,000 cycles of effectively being fully discharged down to only about 2 or 3% remaining capacity. And a good battery like this, a quality product, is going to last you all the way through. So what we've been doing is we've been thumping the battery, and we've been discharging it at a very high rate and then recharging it at a high rate. As I say, taking it down to about 2% remaining capacity, and we're still seeing over 2,000 cycles. And on a 100 amp hour battery, we are now still seeing, I think we're at about 84 ampere hour capacity. So we're still sitting around, just expand that. Yeah, so we're still seeing that it's got around about 85% of its original capacity. And so far today, it's gone through over 2,000 cycles. So obviously in a caravanning environment, we're not going to be thumping the batteries anywhere near as much as that. So the testing that we've done has proven that this particular lithium battery has the capacity in which to be able to deliver over the longer term. So that would be effectively 2,000 full cycles down to 2% would be pretty much, I'd probably be guessing, at least greater than 10 years of real life testing actually out in the field. So it's really important that you can get cheap batteries out there, and it's the same with anything that you buy out there. You know, you can get good product and you can get cheap product, you can get great product, and it's going to cost you a little bit more. But if you're making the investment into lithium batteries, I strongly recommend not buying the cheapest possible battery that you can get, because firstly, you're probably not likely to find that it's got full certifications. So with certifications, all batteries internationally must meet a particular IEC standard, and that normally only relates, well, so not normally, all batteries have to be certified to IEC standards, and the IEC standards, though, only apply to the cells inside the battery. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, in this particular battery, there'll be 4 cells, 4 prismatic cells, and the batteries are all certified to cell level. Now that's the minimum level that any lithium iron phosphate battery, which is being imported into the country, must be meeting. But what they've done with the Invicta batteries, which we're very, very comfortable with, is that the entire battery box, the entire battery assembled with the BMS, has been certified to the next level of IEC standards. So it's meeting all of the international standards now as a complete unit. So important to check when you pick up a lithium battery, has it been fully certified as a complete battery, or have only individual cells inside there been certified? So just to move this out of the road and explain further. So this is a battery, it's obviously not a live battery. So this shows you the 4 cells that sit within the battery, and the green board across the top there is the electronics, which I was referring to before, which is the battery management system. So each one of these 4 cells in here has to be certified firstly. But secondly, what we've done with the Invicta batteries, this entire unit here has been fully certified. Because by the time you put electronics over the top of those individual cells, you want to know that the complete system is operating and meeting the highest possible quality standards. So that this battery, the Invicta batteries, certainly do meet those standards, which is why we offer such an extensive warranty on them. So just be careful what you're buying out there. You know, you'll get what you pay for, is what they always said. If it's too good to be true, it is actually too good to be true. And there's a reason why something may actually be that cheap. So be very, very careful with what you're getting. So the Invicta range, and there's a new range we've just brought out, the BM Pro Zeal, those are the only 2 batteries which we're recommending, because we have tested them here locally in Australia. So ask the supplier of your lithium batteries, can they supply testing data to be able to prove it? And I don't mean a hypothetical graph that comes out of some engineer's laboratory, but I mean something which has been properly tested and proven. And we'll put up on the screen now, and you'll be able to see the graph which we've been doing, and it's still going now live at the back here at BM Pro here in Knoxville, Melbourne, and we're updating this data all the time. The cycling is running on a daily basis. So we've actually properly tested these batteries to know that they are good, and in fact they're great. They're very effective in what they're supposed to be doing. So as I was just touching on before, the big difference is in the price. People ask, why is there such a difference in price in lithium batteries? So it's like any new technology, there's a rush to the market. There's always the first early adopters, which is great. And then what happens, we find in international electronics, there is then a plethora of product which has been copied or replicated, and it's just being put onto the market really quickly without going through proper testing and proper quality control processes. And it is therefore that they're selling it cheap. So it's the cheap stuff that you find on, could be eBay or wherever it may be. Mind you, there's good product on eBay, don't get me wrong, but there is also a lot of cheaper product. So you get what you pay for. So it's the quality of the materials which go into it. It's the quality of the packaging that goes into it. It's the standards and the compliance that goes around it. Nobody wants a high-tech electronic product that's in the back of their caravan that has the potential to break down or to fault because they've purchased something cheap. It's going to be a waste of your money. So you're better to spend that $100 or $200 extra and actually get something which sits in the middle of the range there and can offer you that guarantee that you're going to be able to get a quality product that's going to last you the length of time. So now comes to the big question that everybody's been asking over the last 6 months or so, as we've seen more and more of these lithium batteries coming onto the market. Can you charge a lithium battery with a standard lead acid charger? Not recommended. And the reason that I would suggest that, and why BMPro does all their testing in regards to it, is a couple of reasons. Firstly, you've made a big investment in buying a lithium battery, or you're about to make a big investment in buying a lithium battery. Now, a good quality lithium battery is going to cost you somewhere between, at the moment in the market, between about $800 to $1,200, and that should find you a really good quality product that you can be comfortable with, you know has gone through the testing, has the local certifications, is capable of being paralleled, etc., etc. So as I said before, you do get what you pay for. So if you get what you pay for, you want to treat it properly. So if you're going to do that, then what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to charge it properly. Now, for those of you that are not aware, lithium batteries have a different charging profile and a different discharge curve on their voltage, on the voltage curve, as to what a lead acid battery does. So a lead acid battery, after it's fully charged, will be sitting at around about low 13 volts, somewhere between say 13.2 to 13.6 volts after being rested for half an hour after it's been properly fully charged. Now, as you attach appliances to it or you use that 12 volts, you'll find that that'll start to drop off, obviously, and it'll go down into the 12s. And then when you start getting down into the low 12s or 11, that you're starting to find that it's basically run out of power and you're down at around, maybe 10% remaining capacity or something like that. So it drops off over time. So what happens though with a lithium battery is that when it's fully charged, again, it might be sitting at around say 13.6 volts after being rested after a full charge, and it will hold that 13 volts and above 13 volts for 90% of the journey of while it's delivering that energy. So it holds those volts for a long, long time. Now, obviously that means that it draws less amps because volts times amps equals the amount of power, the wattage which we're pulling out of it. So it holds that voltage a lot longer along that curve. What that means is if you're using a lead acid charger to charge a lithium battery, a lead acid charger looks for a particular voltage on the way up and when it's being recharged. And because it is sitting there in the high end of the voltage range for such a length of time, once the lead acid charger sees that the lithium battery is up at the high volts, it stops charging. And effectively what that means is you're only going to get somewhere between 70 to 80% of that full charge into your lithium battery. Now, you bought the lithium battery or are going to buy that lithium battery, so you've got extended capacity so that you can actually camp for longer, be off grid for longer, or use more appliances, whatever it may be. So why invest approximately $800, $1,000 if you're not going to get 20 or 30% of capacity out of there, because a lead acid battery charger cannot hold the voltage up, it doesn't hold the voltage over at the same for the same length of time. A dedicated lithium battery charger is highly recommended because it will recognize this and it will therefore continue to keep the voltage up and it will charge it over an extended period of time to ensure that that last 20 or 30% remaining capacity is fully charged in your battery and you're then getting the full capacity. So that's point number one. So why charge it with a lithium ion phosphate charger only? because you're going to get the full capacity out of your battery. With a lead acid charger, you would not. Now, the other big issue that we've seen with lead acid chargers being applied across onto lithium batteries is that, as I mentioned before here, there's a high-tech piece of equipment, being that green circuit board with lots of high-tech electronics on it that is controlling the cells inside the battery. The same thing happens inside a battery charger. There's a lot of high-tech components in there, and they're operating at high frequency and operating at a very, very fast speed, as we know that electronics can certainly do these days. Now, the BMS inside here, the battery management system in here, is trying to control what's going on across these cells. If you apply a lead acid charger that has a different profile and it thinks that it's charging a lead acid battery, the electronic components in that are going to be fighting the lithium battery circuit. So you're going to have two sets of electronics that are trying to fight each other because the profile is not matching. Now, we'll put up on the screen in a minute the differences in the two different charging profiles. So in our BC15 range, for example, and a range of our different chargers, we have a 7-stage charging algorithm for lead acid chargers. With lithium, it's very different, and you'll see that on the screen right now. As you can see with these two different profiles that are on your screen at the moment, that there are different algorithms and different charging regimes that are required to maximize and protect the batteries. If you go applying one across the other, you're going to have two sets of electronics fighting each other. So for example, a lead acid charger down at the beginning there can go into a desulfation and a pulsing mode in which to ensure that the lead acid batteries don't sulfate up, and it breaks down the residual that sits on the lead plates that are within the batteries, and basically keeps them active. Now, this high frequency pulsing that is done very, very fast is going to be competing against the electronic circuits that sit within the battery, within a lithium battery. So what you'll see is that not only is it not good to have the two sets of electronics fighting each other, but you're also going to see that the lithium battery, if the battery management system in here is smart enough, it's actually going to shut down. And we're already starting to see that through our customer service team at BM Pro. People are finding that the lithium battery is shutting down and saying, I can't handle this, you're putting the wrong charger on top of me, and I am going to shut down because I'm going over voltage, under voltage, etc. It puts it into one of its failure modes and it will shut it down. Now, that's good that it shuts it down, but your problem is now is how do you wake it up? And there's a couple of ways in particular in which you need to be able to wake it up, which we can certainly do with the BM Pro range of products. A lot of other products can't wake up the lithium batteries, and certainly a lead acid charger cannot wake up a lithium battery that has gone to sleep due to being taken out of its specifications. So don't mix and match. That's the lesson that I want to leave you with today. Do not mix and match. If you wish to buy a lithium battery, make sure it's got the right certifications, make sure it's got the right compliance, make sure it's made from a reputable supplier, make sure it's made from and supplied by someone who's been around for a long time in the game, who has a brand name that you know of, that you trust, and therefore you're going to be able to get that backup support if there was something, God forbid, to go wrong with it, or it fell out of warranty, or you weren't sure. Second thing is, don't mix and match lead acid chargers and lithium chargers. It's not advisable. We certainly don't recommend it, and it's not good practice here at BM Pro. So we have a range of different products, and one of them here, for example, is our battery check product. You'll see up the top there in the corner, we've got our lithium stamp on it. So look for products in the range. If you're looking for a BM Pro product, look for a product which has got the green stamp on the top of it, and that means that it's been tested, it's been proven. It's not a hypothetical that's been said, that our supplier says you can do that. It has actually been done in a laboratory with technicians here in Melbourne and with our R&D team to say that it is lithium compatible and it will work well with lithium. All right, so there you go. So hopefully I've given you a bit of information today on the appropriate charging of lithium batteries. We have a whole range of information on our website. If you jump onto the Team BM Pro website, we actually now have a lithium portal to try and ensure that we give people lots of information in regards to lithium and you're getting the right information. If you're not sure, you can always contact us through various different means, but have a look on that portal. We try not to make it too BM Pro. We're trying to make it just very general to the lithium battery market as a whole so that you get the right information out there. So that website now should be on the bottom of your screen. So if you get a chance, have a look on there. Send us some feedback. Love to hear from you guys. And thanks for your support of BM Pro. Good luck, and I really hope you're enjoying the virtual show.